Hi friends, good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us. Before we start our presentation today, we have a short video from Teleport that we would like to show you. So I'm going to now play the video for you to understand what Teleport is all about. Thank you. Wow, wasn't that wonderful? I'm sure all of you have learned a lot about Teleport by simply seeing that video. I think it was quite self explanatory, but don't worry, we have a lot more in store for you today. It is 3 p.m., and I'm all excited to get started with our webinar today. My name is Devika, and I will be moderating the webinar. Today, we have with us Teleport, and as the screen says, grow your travel business with easy visas. That is what Teleport stands for. That is what Teleport promises us today. Over the next 1 hour, we will see what Teleport has to offer. And after that, we are very happy to answer any questions that you have. So please feel free to ask all your questions in the chat tab. On the top or the bottom of your screen, or on the right hand side of your screen, there is a button that says chat or Q&A, and you can keep asking your questions on that, and we will be taking up questions. In case we don't answer your question today, the team from Teleport will get back to you with a response. So please feel free to ask as many questions as you want. Before getting into the webinar, I have a few more housekeeping announcements for you. Firstly, there is a reconnect button on top of your screen. It's a white color button. So in case at any point you can't hear us, you can't see us, the audio goes off, something goes wrong, press the reconnect button, and then you should be able to hear us and see us again. We have some polls for you as well during the webinar. So we will, just to make it extremely interactive, to customize it to what you all want, we will have these poll questions pop up. You need to vote for the right answer in the polls tab, and we will then read out the answer and customize the presentation accordingly. Finally, I know a few of you have already asked me for a recording. Yes, we will be sharing a recording of this webinar. In 24 hours, you will get an automated email from us with a complete recording of this webinar. So in case you miss out on anything, please don't panic, please don't worry. We will be sharing a complete recording with you. Having said that, now I'm excited to introduce you to the team from Teleport, the ones who promise Visa Simplified to us and hassle-free visas from today. So we have with us Nikita, who is the CEO of Teleport. Hi, Nikita. Thank you for being here and thank you for joining us. And we also have with us Rishi Khaitan, who's the sales head for Teleport. So thank you both for being here. I would now like to hand it over to Nikita to take it forward.
Thank you, Devika, so much for that wonderful introduction. Hopefully this 1 hour that we have today, a lot of you will take back a lot more on visas. And if there is something that our team can help you with, we'd love to help you with visas as well. But without further ado, let me get started. Just a quick introduction about myself. So my name is Nikita. I'm the founder of Teleport. We are a 2-year-old company. We're based at Bangalore, but we have our offices at Mumbai, Delhi, and now we are opening our Chennai office very, very soon. And I'll talk about it a lot more later. But let me start by diving into the presentation directly, and I'll start by giving you a quick overview of what are we going to cover in this presentation today, and how we can make this 1 hour as useful as possible for all those who come in and join today on a Tuesday afternoon. So we're going to first start, most importantly, with a lot of visa trends. There are a lot of changes that keep happening in visas over the period of last 1 year. And I'm going to talk about some of these changes. It's very, very important as somebody being in the travel fraternity to know some of these things that are changing so that you can answer your customers accordingly. The second part of this presentation, I'm going to spend a lot more time on addressing the current visa problems that are faced by a lot of travel agents we work with. And I'll talk about how you can solve some of these problems, whether through Teleport, without Teleport. I'll answer both of those parts as well. We also have a short demo that we'll do on Teleport in case you'd like to use Teleport for applying for some of the visas that you have. And we're going to leave the last 15 minutes for any questions that you have. During this presentation, we also have a coupon code that the team will share with you. So in case you're trying to use Teleport for the first time, you can use those coupon codes and you can get a discount on your first visa that you apply with Teleport as well. But let's get started. I'll first talk about visa trends. But before that, let's just run a quick poll on which country are you experiencing the most demand as far as visas is concerned. And I'll try and customize this presentation basis some of the results that we get here. So Devika, if you can put that put up the poll question.
We have the poll live on your screens. There is a poll pop up on your screen. So please go ahead and vote over there for what you feel is your work is demanding currently. So please, we're waiting for the responses to come in. And friends, I know that Nikita made an announcement, but I don't think she made a big enough announcement. Yes, Teleport has decided that all of you are winners today. You all are going to go back with a coupon code worth 2,500 rupees each to use on the Teleport website. So can you imagine? That is such a huge, huge announcement, Nikita. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for making it rewarding for each and every participant who is here with us. So thank you for doing that. And now I also have the poll responses in. Europe stands at a 55%. UAE stands at a 16%. Singapore stands at a 7%. And US stands at a 21%. So that is the response for this poll question. Back to you, Nikita.
Awesome. I think it's what we expected as well. It's the summer season, so everybody is traveling to Europe. So I'm sure Europe is very high demand. Usually when I do some of these webinars towards the end of the year, UAE comes to be like the top country. But let me actually show you what are the actual demand for some of these countries, right, in India. So it helps you decide if there are countries you're not focusing on today as far as visas is concerned. You should also be focusing on them. So if you look at the overall number of visas that are issued in India, if we were to split it by different countries, the country that tops the list is actually UAE. So 20% of all travelers who travel from India travel to UAE, followed by the United States. And then while you don't see a lot of European countries here, but if you like group all of them together, they will be as at the same level as United States, followed by UK, Canada, and Australia. So there are some of these countries you're not focusing on right now. It's a good time to focus on them. Some of these countries actually have very easy visas. So if you take UAE, even UK for that matter, Australia, these are all e-visas. They come through very quickly if the customer has the right documentation in place. And we'll talk about some of that later in the presentation as well. But let me also talk about some of the other visa trends and overall travel trends that are happening as far as outbound tourism is concerned. So the outbound travel market in India is going to be 42 billion by 2024. More than 100 million Indians today have passports that have been issued in the last 10 years. And out of these, about 80 million are actually planning international trips in the next couple of years. So in case you're not, again, spending too much time on international business, it's the perfect time to focus on outbound tourism given the rate at which it is growing. Now let's talk about the visa trends, right? And I get this question a lot around rejections, which countries are easy, which countries are difficult. So we've also kind of brought it out in terms of which countries are easy to get, which are difficult. In terms of countries with highest rejections, the biggest one is US, followed by Schengen countries, and then followed by some of the other countries like UK, UAE, Singapore. However, these rejections that are there are preventable. A lot of it is usually because of financial statements of the passenger. If they do not have enough bank balance, do not have sufficient documentation, or incorrect documentation is submitted, a lot of these problems can be solved. And in the second half of this presentation, we'll go deeper into each problem and see how can it be solved. But just wanted to give all of you guys an overview of where are the countries which have high rejection, so that you're careful when you're applying for visas for some of these countries. Now let's look at some of the interesting news that came in the last year. And there's a lot of confusion about some of these countries. So I'll also, briefly talk about whether these countries are really visa-free, they're not visa-free, right? So the first country is Malaysia. Malaysia actually went visa-free last year, so you do not need to apply for any visa. However, there is something called as an arrival card. It's called as MDAC. So if you have passengers traveling to Malaysia 3 days prior to their departure, you do have to apply for this MDAC. It's free of cost to apply. You can also use teleport to apply, but otherwise you can also go to the consulate platform and get this arrival card. But please ensure that while it's visa-free, a arrival card is mandatory. Then another interesting thing that happened at the start of this year was there is a news that Kenya went visa-free. However, this is not true. Kenya has just shifted from visa-free to something called as an electronic travel authorization, which is exactly like a visa. So the price of the visa has gone down, but the process hasn't. So it still takes 3 days to get this visa. So Kenya, for all you people here who think Kenya is visa-free, it is not. Please ensure that you're applying for visas for all your passengers traveling to Kenya. Iran, on the other hand, actually went visa-free. So if your traveler is traveling for up to 15 days, there's no visa required for Iran. Now, also, let's look at countries that went visa-free last year, but are going to change back to visas, right? And it's important that we understand that I think because it's been visa-free for the last 6-8 months, people assume they're going to be visa-free even afterwards, but that's not the case. Sri Lanka was visa-free only until 31st March 2024. There has been a new platform that has been launched just last week for Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka will now require a visa to be applied for all the customers, all the passengers traveling them, whether they're traveling for tourism, business, a visa will be required. So ensure that if you have passengers traveling in the next month, you get all of their visas approved through the new platform. Thailand also is going to be visa-free only until the 10th of May. Post that, We've still not heard back from the consulate. We are waiting from them to hear back whether this will be extended or not. But if it is not extended, you will have to apply for a visa. Before the country went visa free, there was also visa on arrival option, but we are still waiting to hear back from the embassy if that visa on arrival option will still be there or not. So if you have passengers traveling to Thailand after 10th May, please look for information on what the consulate is announcing. By the way, which also reminds me, we have a community of travel where we keep giving a lot of travel visa related updates. I'll ask my team to put the link to the community on the chat also during this presentation. So if you want to stay updated with news around visas, you can also join that travel community, visa community that we have. So if there is any update on Thailand, you'll stay updated through the group that we have. So that's on countries that are no longer going to be visa free. Let's also talk about countries that will go visa free very soon. So there are 2 countries which we are expecting to go visa free this year. Both of them have announced that they're planning to, but again, these are not implemented. So if you have passengers traveling soon, please apply for these visas. One is Indonesia. The second is Vietnam. Indonesia also has a visa on arrival option, but there are long queues at the airport. So if you want to avoid that, you can apply for an e-visa. Vietnam is only an e-visa, so please do not go for any visa on arrival options there. I've heard a lot of people getting confused that Vietnam also has a visa on arrival, but it does not right now. So these are things around visa-free countries. There are a few more changes that happened very, very recently. So there are two new countries that have been added to the Schengen region. So both Romania and Bulgaria, which were not a part of Schengen, are now a part of the Schengen country. So if you have a Schengen visa, you can travel to these countries as well. There was a very recent news on Japan going to e-visas. Now again, there's a lot of confusion around this. Honestly, the process hasn't changed. The process remains exactly the same as it was. Documents have to be submitted to the VFS office. The only difference is instead of a sticker visa, it will now be an e-visa, which will be emailed to you. So that's the only difference. Nothing else changes. The timeline, the process remains entirely the same. Then there is, I think the most asked question that I get is around US and, can we get an appointment for US? Unfortunately, currently the appointment slots for US for fresh visas is only in 2025. I will talk about how we can solve this problem again in the second half of this presentation. But the good news is the embassy is planning to open 2 new centers in India this year, one at Ahmedabad, one at Bangalore. Once these centers open up, we are expecting that these appointment slot issues should go away. But until then, the wait time is still very, very high across all the cities in India. Okay, and I think, again, this is a very exciting piece of news that came last year. However, it's not been implemented yet. Schengen visas are going digital soon. So the EU Council, which manages the entire Schengen visas, have now announced that they will make all the Schengen visas digital. However, this will happen only by 2026. Until 2026, the process will still remain the same. So it will have to be done either through BLS or a VFS, where you'll have to get appointments and have to get biometrics done. But post 2026, we are expecting that Schengen visas will also become digital and will become much, much more faster and easier for every one of you here who has a lot of customers. And I saw Europe was a big destination. So it's good news. Hopefully it comes in by 2026, another couple of years. And then it's going to be much, much more faster, easier, simpler for all of you who are applying for European visas. So that's it in terms of visa trends. I think the more important and the exciting portion of this presentation is how do we really, get these visas and, get it on time, get it approved, without any rejections, without any concerns. So let's focus on the second half of this presentation. I'm going to spend a lot more time on it. But before we do that, I just want to talk a little bit about why visas are so critical to your business. And I'll also talk briefly about teleport. So visas, 26 million Indians travel each year. And we've spoken to a lot of people when we started Teleport, and 80% of the people we spoke to ended up struggling with visa applications. 70% of them ended up outsourcing these visas to a travel agent, and they charge anywhere between 500 to 2,000 rupees per visa. We also spoke to a lot of travel agents, and they usually end up doing visas because visas help them acquire these customers to then, sell packages, flight, hotels. So visas then have become an acquisition channel for these customers, for these agents to then, cross sell a lot of other products. So which is why I think visas are super critical in case you're not doing them. And which is where I want to come to this poll and quickly understand from all of you who are present here today, how are you processing these visas? Are you doing them in-house? Are you outsourcing them? Or are you doing partly in-house, partly outsourcing? And then, if you're outsourcing also, I'll talk about some of the help that our team can also, assist you with.
Thank you, Nikita. Friends, the poll question has popped up on your screens. It's a very simple question. We would love to hear your feedback. So I'm getting the responses in, Nikita, as we talk. For the first option, self and in-house team is 21%, outsourcing is 30%, and some self and some outsourcing is 49%.
Got it. Makes sense. I think it's a good number. So we can actually, I'd love to, for people who are outsourcing some of their visas or all of their visas, I'd love to give a brief introduction about Teleport also, and how we can help them with some of these visas. So like I started this presentation with, we're a young company, we're a 2-year-old company. We process more than 40 countries, tourist visas. We also do business visas. We take care of end-to-end documentation. It's an online platform, so you can come on the platform. You can find all the information that you need on any visa. So whether you're using us or not, you want the checklist, you want to know the processing time, you want to know the process, whether it's an e-visa, sticker visa, you can come on our platform, find information for all the countries, and you can use us to even apply for these visas. And we're very reasonable, very competitive when it comes to pricing. We usually have very high approval rates also. So in case, if we look at your documentation and we feel this is going to be a rejected case, our team is very upfront and honest about it, and we'll tell you upfront whether this visa will get approved or not, which is why we are able to maintain such high quality in terms of visa approval rates as well. We also work with a large portion. I think our entire, more than 85 to 90% of our business is just working with travel agents and B2B companies. So we work with companies like Make My Trip, Travelclan, WT Fairs for processing a lot of their visas. We have 3 offices, one at Bangalore, one at Bombay, one at Delhi. So you're welcome to, if you're ever at Bangalore, happy to host you at our office as well. We also, so just focusing on why Teleport is, it's also an online platform. So you can come on the platform and you can apply for all of these visas on our platform. And we built in a lot of easy automations for your team to apply for these visas. Moment you upload a passport, we auto read your passport, so you don't have to manually fill in any information. We can generate temporary itineraries for you. We will generate cover letters, leave letters on the platform automatically for you for a Schengen visa. We also will save this information. So let's say for the same customer, if you're applying again for another visa, so most of that information will be saved on our platform. You do not need to, send us all the information again. And the most important thing is our team will give you real-time notifications on the status of the visa, whether your appointment is booked, whether your documentation is uploaded, whether the visa is approved, rejected. You will get a real-time notification on the platform, on your WhatsApp, on your email, on what is happening on your visa. So you don't need to even reach out to our teams. Even without that, you will find all of this on the platform. This was a voucher that I was talking about. So for people who want to try out our platform, we have a 2,500 rupees voucher that we'll share with on the chat as well. So please, if you're trying the platform for the first time, please feel free to use this voucher and apply for the visas on our B2B platform. Do ensure that you're signing up on our B2B platform, where you can then go ahead and use these coupons. Okay, quick poll again, and this is the last poll for the day. And this is where I wanted to understand what are the biggest problems that you're facing when it comes to visas, because the last part of this presentation is also talking about how will we solve some of these problems. So is it finding information? Is it getting appointments? Is it doing all of the documentation, cover letter, leave letter, forms? Or then is it, visa delays and rejection?
Friends, this is the last poll question for you.
Okay.
Like Nikita said, that she will then customize it to your requirements. Please go in and respond to the poll in the poll pop-up that has come. Just put in your vote there. Don't write it in the chats tab. If you write it on the chats, I will not be able to count your vote at that point. Nikita, we're getting the responses in. The first option, hard to find the right information on visa, is at 26%. Managing appointments with VFS and embassies is at a high of a 34%. Preparing all documents and cover letters is at a 24%. And visa delays and rejections is at a 17%.
Got it. So it's a good mix of everything. I think all of these are big problems, 100%. I will talk about each of these problems in detail, and we'll talk about how can we find solutions to some of these problems as well. So let me pick up one at a time. And we can talk about how can we solve these problems. If you still have a question on it, you can put it on the chat on the Q&A section. And if I've not answered those questions as a part of this section, I will try and answer it in the Q&A part. So let's talk about the first problem, hard to find the right information. I hear this often. I think a lot of times travel agents, direct customers come to me. They ask me what document checklist, where do we find the information, how many days? And these are all very, very basic questions. And it's very difficult sometimes to find information for all of these questions. Now, there are two ways you could find this information. I think if you're trying to find this information on your own, the best source to find the information is to go to the consulate official website in India. So let's say you're looking for information on France. The best way to look would be to search for France consulate in India. Go to their website. Most of these websites will have information on what is the process for visa. If not, they will guide you to the right website to find information on visas. The other is there are authorized partner websites where you can find information. So again, for France, for example, the consulate will redirect you to the VFS website, which is their authorized partner. A lot of information, if you're not able to find on the embassy platform, you will find on these authorized partner websites. So again, if you're looking for France, just search for France VFS in India. The first website that pops up is the official website. You will find a lot of information on France visas there. The other easier way to also find information is you can come on the Teleport platform and you can find information of all the countries on our platform. And on this note, let me also maybe share my screen and I'll show you where can you find information on Teleport for all the questions that you have. So let me quickly turn my screen share on. Yes, so I think my screen is shared. So this is our homepage for all of you who want to find information for visas. So you can come to useteleport.com. You can come to the agents section where you will find information on our B2B platform. You can also, if you want to book a demo after this, you can always come in and book a demo with us. You can also come in and register for free. But let's say talking about just coming in and finding information, right? So let's say you have a customer who's traveling to Australia. You can just come in here. You will find all the information for Australia here. So what is the type of visa, whether it's an e-visa or not? How long can you stay with this visa? What's the visa validity, right? So 90 days is what you can travel for, but you can travel in a 3-year period. We also give you information on the processing time. If you want to share this information with your customer, you can also do it here. We do not do any branding here. So you can just share a quote with your customer. Let's say you want to process this for a customer. You want to add a 500 rupee margin. You can just put the customer name here and you can open your web WhatsApp and send it, or you can just copy these details. You can also add the checklist here. So let's say if you want checklist, the link to the checklist is also here. You can copy all these details, send it to the customer, else you can just directly open your web WhatsApp and send it to the customer, so that if there are any questions coming from the customer, most of that information gets solved for through this. If you want a detailed checklist, you can also come down and find the detailed checklist for this visa. So Australia visa, you'll find all of it here. But let's say you want to download, share it with the customer, you can just download the copy here and share it with your customer as well. Apart from these, time to process and the visa checklist, we also have a Q&A section where, if these are the most commonly asked questions by travel agents to us. So we have even FAQs here to be able to solve your questions. So if you're not finding information on the top, you will find some of that information on the bottom of this page. Let's say you're still not able to find information. You can always ask our team. So we have a WhatsApp support channel. We also have a call support channel. So let's say you're still not finding information and you want something very, very specific. You can always reach out to us on our call numbers or on our WhatsApp numbers, on our WhatsApp chat, and our team is happy to help you with any question that you have. So this is a quick overview of finding information. Now that we are here, let me also just quickly do a short demo. I'll pick up an easy country to show you what happens after you find information. Let's say you decide to apply with Teleport. It's a very simple process. Let's say you want to do a Vietnam visa. You come on the platform. You can start the application on the platform itself. We ask for only the most important details that are required from you or the customer. So the most important thing is obviously the travel dates. Moment you tell me, hey, my travel dates are 25th to 27th, I'll tell you that, hey, your travel dates are too close, do not apply. So if you have customers who are traveling very close to today, we usually tell you not to apply for these visas. Now that I said 5th May, it looks like a good date, like we'll get the visa on time. So you can come in, put your travel dates. The next section is where you can come in and upload the passport details of your customer, as well as visit details of your customer. Like I was telling you earlier in the presentation, we read all the details. You don't have to manually fill any of these details. So let's say I come on this section, I can upload, let me upload a passport and quickly show you how it works. So you can upload the passport front, you can come in, upload the back of the passport as well. And our system will auto-read all of the information that is there on the passport, so that you don't have to manually fill anything. You can also add multiple travelers here. So if you have a family, you can enter all the passports together and then go to the next section. Once you upload the passport, there's one more section, which is the visit details section. This is any other information that we need for the purpose of applying for visa. So for Vietnam, we just need two details. What is the entry point? What is the exit point? The reason we ask this is because this gets published on the passport, on the visa copy. So in case you enter the incorrect information here, the customer will get stuck at the airport. So it's important, like whatever information we are asking, it's filled in exactly based on the customer's itinerary, and you're not entering any incorrect or dummy details here. And then there's a last section, which is just put in your photograph, put in your flight details. You can also come in and do this later if you don't have the details right now. And that's about it. So you come in, you make the last page is going to be the page where you can come in and make the payment. So moment you make the payment on this page, our team gets a notification. Somebody from our team will review all of these documentation, and we will auto apply it on the Vietnam platform. We also have a dashboard where you can track everything, right? Whether this is the Vietnam visa that we just did, but because we did not make the payment, it's showing in draft. But let's say if it was submitted, it would have come here, and you would have been able to track whether this visa has been applied, approved. Moment it's approved, you will get a notification on email, WhatsApp, and you'll also be able to download the visa copy on your dashboard. So this is how the platform works. It's very simple, easy to use. But in case you need a demo, you can always go on our homepage and set up a demo with our team, and they can run you through. I just wanted to do a quick overview, not do a very, very detailed detailed demo as a part of this presentation, but happy to run you through it again in case you need help for any of the countries. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, go back to the presentation, and talk about some of the other problems that we also spoke about. So now we discussed the problem around how to find information, either the embassy or the authorized partner platform, or come on the teleport page, you'll find all of the information for all the countries on the platform. Next, this is a very big problem. A lot of users come to us with. There's a tons of paperwork to be done, and I know a lot of travel agents we work with, they do not have large teams, and it takes away a lot of their time to do all of these paperwork. And it's also very, very critical. You cannot get some of these paperwork wrong. So just a quick tip from our end. Cover letters, leave letters are very, very important documents. You have to ensure that there are no document errors, no incorrect information, no spelling errors. If you're doing a cover letter for a customer for a Schengen country, you will have to ensure that you're mentioning why are they traveling, who are they traveling with, where are they going to stay, what is their itinerary, what are they doing, like current occupation information. If they're getting sponsored by somebody, please mention that they're getting sponsored by somebody. The cover letter has to be as detailed as possible. If you need format for a good cover letter, again, the checklist that I was telling you about on the Teleport platform, you can download the checklist. In the checklist, you will find links to cover letter formats as well for each country. We've customized it for a lot of countries. So you can just download that cover letter format and ensure that you use that cover letter format. If you're using Teleport to apply for some of these visas, don't worry about the cover letters, invitation letter, leave letter. Our team will auto-generate it on the platform. If there is any missing information, our team will draft all of this information and send it to you. So you do not need to draft any of these letters on your own. Our team will do it. You only need to share it with the customer and get it executed by them. So that's on documentation. Let's talk about appointments. I think this was the biggest problem in the poll, if I remember correctly. And a fair point. I think it's been a biggest challenge for our team as well to find appointments, especially right now in the summer peak season. So let me talk about countries where there are no appointment issues, and I'll talk about countries where there are appointment issues, so that in case you get questions from customers on appointments, you know where to ask for the questions to them and where you don't need to worry at all. So countries where visa appointment is needed, but there are no problems in getting an appointment, are countries like Japan, Turkey, UK. So if you have customers who want to travel in the summer, they have not yet decided which country, but they want to travel to one of the European countries or one of the Western countries and not travel to the typical Southeast Asia or UAE. The easier countries would be to do Japan, Turkey, UK, where visas are very, very easy to get right now. We've seen very low rejections, no appointment issues at all. However, let's say the customer still wants to travel only to Europe, right? Now, what are the ways we can solve this problem? So there are two places where appointments are a big challenge. One is US, the other is Schengen. US appointments, like I said, only 2025. How do we get it faster? There are a few hacks that have worked for us. We will talk about it here. One is we've seen late hour slots work for us. If you try logging in late in the night, there are slots that either open up or there are cancellations that happen, because of which slots become available. We've done it for a few customers where we've checked late in the night and we've gotten a faster appointment. The other way is, which is a more expensive way, if the customer is willing to travel to another country to get their US visa. So countries like Thailand, Singapore do not have any appointment issues. They have appointments for US available. And people from anywhere across the globe can go there and get an appointment and submit their visas. So if you have customers who are not able to find appointments, this is another option where they could travel to Singapore, Thailand, get an appointment there and get their visas issued. The last option is to work with, this is not always recommended, but there are, agents who, end up giving appointments to you for an additional cost. These again, these are agents who find, they know the late hour slots. They keep checking for these slots on a daily basis, so they're able to find some of these slots. There's no guarantee, but you can also get slots through that route. However, it's not a short way of getting a visa appointment. Now let's talk about Schengen. Schengen, there are again couple of options you can do to get a visa appointment. First is using something called as VAYD, which is visa at your doorstep. Appointments, visa at your doorstep is not available for all Schengen countries. There are about 7-8 countries where visa at your doorstep is available. VFS charges an additional 8 to 10K per passenger for doing this service, but they will come to your house, they will do your biometrics, they will collect your documents. So in case you're not finding appointment for the country that you're traveling to, do check on the VFS platform if there is a visa at your doorstep available. So you'll have to first book a normal appointment and then reach out to the VFS team on call and tell them, can you do visa at your doorstep for your customer? So that's one way. The other is, if your passengers are traveling to multiple European countries, opt for countries where there are shorter wait times. So the rule of thumb is to apply to a country where you're spending the most number of days. So if you can change your itinerary for your customer in a way where he's spending more time in the shorter wait countries. So countries like Switzerland, we're finding appointments. Countries, Netherlands also, in some cities we are finding appointments. Countries like France, Spain, slightly difficult to find appointments, but once you find the appointment, they process the visas very, very fast. France comes through in 1 week. Spain comes through in 3-4 days. So if you have travel dates which are very close, try going to these platforms and seeing if you can find appointments for these countries. And if your customer is willing to travel or spend more amount of time in these countries. The other only option we've found is just daily logins. This is what some of our team members do, because we process so many visas every day. We are constantly on the VFS platform, BLS platform. So if you're using Teleport to apply for some of these visas, because our team is checking daily, even if there's one cancellation, we try and book that appointment as soon as possible for your customer. But if you're not using Teleport, the only other way is to keep checking, because there are cancellations that happen in the last moment. So you may suddenly see an appointment opening up for tomorrow, right? And if you book it on time, you can actually get that appointment for your customer as well. So these are some of the hacks that our team has used to find appointments. Hopefully some of it is helpful. Even if you're not able to find it yourself, you can use Teleport. We will try and find these appointment slots with you. Worst case, even if you're not able to find some of these slots, we refund the entire amount, so you do not have to worry about that. But we've been successful in getting appointments for a lot of these countries for our customers. Let's go to the next and the last section of this part of our presentation, which is also actually the last part of our presentation, which is visa delays and rejections. I'm going to briefly touch upon why do visas get rejected, and then the solution to the problem is very, very simple if you know why these visas get rejected. Right now, like I was saying, there are only few countries where there are visa rejections that happen. Countries in Southeast Asia, we've never seen visa rejections. Even countries like Japan, Middle East, we see very little rejection. The major chunk of rejections that come in for Schengen countries, UK, US, all of these countries. And there are very obvious ways you can ensure that these visas don't get rejected. Right? The first and the most important reason is just financial documents. If your customer doesn't have strong financials, I would recommend to not get them to apply for a Schengen country. The minimum balance we recommend for all Schengen countries is 1.5-2 lakhs per passenger. So if there is a family of 4 and the husband is the only earning member, 1.5 to 2 lakhs per member of the family. Also important, if you don't have income tax returns, it again has a very high chance of rejections. So ensure that the income tax returns of these customers are available. Again, one thing I often see travelers doing, they do a deposit in their bank account just before the appointment date. 100% your visa will get rejected if you do this. please avoid doing this practice. You'd rather have 1 lakh in your account than having, suddenly from 1 lakh it going to 4 lakhs in 1 day's time. It will create more suspicion, will get rejected. The better way to solve this problem is to get your visa sponsored by somebody else. So let's say the passenger doesn't have strong financials, get a parent, get any other blood relative, get the employer to sponsor their visas and attach their bank statements, instead of doing things like last minute deposits, or just submitting visa with whatever documents you have, because then it leads to rejection for a lot of these countries. The other big reason we see for rejection in Schengen countries is dummy bookings. Now I get it, a lot of customers also have this issue where they do not want to book a ticket unless they get their visa. But it's a chicken and an egg problem. If you don't book your tickets, chances of visa rejection is high. And if you book your tickets and then visa gets rejected, it's unfortunate, but chances of visa getting rejected with dummy tickets is very, very high. There are some countries which are okay with it. You can apply to those countries. So for example, countries like France, they clearly say in their checklist that you do not need to book all of these flight, hotel up front. So for those countries, feel free. You can do it. You can even ask our team to do it on our platform. We will do it for you. But other countries, avoid doing dummy flights, hotels, or if the customer is insisting, tell the customer that there is a risk that this visa will get rejected, and only if the customer is comfortable with that risk, book a dummy hotel or a flight, or you can even ask our team and we could help you with it. The last thing, this is a lesser, not as big a problem, but we've often seen mistakes being made in the application form. Even a small error, like your passport number is, 1 digit is here and there, leads to rejection. The embassy will just look at the passport details. They will think this is a mistake. A lot of times embassy will, even if the embassy approves it by mistake, you will get stuck at the airport at the immigration, because there they will check every single detail very clearly. So please ensure that there are no mistakes in the visa application form or any of the documents that you are submitting for the customer. So these are the 3 big reasons for rejections: financials, dummy hotel flights, and last is mistakes in the application form. The rejection letter you will get will also talk about this. They usually talk about financials, or then they end up talking about they're not convinced that you're going to come back. Most of the cases which they say they are not convinced is usually around dummy flights and hotels. So please avoid doing that as far as possible. So that's it in terms of visa rejections. We have a few testimonials of some of our customers who worked with us. I can skip this and spend more time on the Q&A section. So we have about 15 minutes with us. I'd love to take any questions that I have not answered as a part of my presentation, and spend the next 15 minutes just focusing on the questions. And I hope the presentation was useful for a lot of you. I will also ask Devika to share the presentation, share the recording in case you want it. So let's look at the question. Rishi, do you want to maybe unmute yourself and ask some of these questions to me?
Sure. Is my audio working fine?
Yes, you'll have to be a little louder.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll be a bit louder. I hope it's clear now.
Yes.
So I think one question which we could probably answer first is some people have asked how are we different from other service providers, and what are the merits of applying visas through Teleport?
Got it. Very good question. So one, I think how we're different from the traditional old school players is, one, we are an online platform. So you can come on our platform and apply for visas without having to talk to anybody, right? You can come on the platform, apply for these visas. Like I said, find information. You don't even need to pick up, your phone and call us. If you want to, you can always do it. Rishi is here. You can, get in touch with Rishi's team if you still have questions. But otherwise, it's a fully automated platform, so the chances of errors, mistakes are much lesser. We also do a lot more countries and some of the other online platforms that are there. So we are doing not just e-visas, but we also do sticker visas. So if you need help on the Schengen countries that I spoke about, you need help on US, Canada, you'll get a lot of help on the platform for those countries as well. So I hope I answered the question. Rishi, we can't hear you. Could you?
Yeah, Rishi, we can't hear you. Can you just
on mute?
your browser? Sorry, I think that was. Let's just give it a few more moments. I think Rishi just joined.
Yeah.
Friends, like
Yes,
Nikita
I think he's
mentioned,
back.
we will be sharing a recording of the webinar with you. So in
All right,
case
sorry. Am I audible now?
Yeah, please go ahead, Rishi.
All right. So I just changed my audio mode. I think some people were not able to hear me clearly. Sorry about that. Nikita, there are a lot of questions around US Express appointments. So I thought it would be good to address that as well.
Yeah, so we actually have launched US Express appointment on our platform as well. US Express appointments, so like I was saying, 2025 are the appointments, Express appointments we've been able to find for some of our customers in the next couple of months. So till the time the travel is, if the travel is in May, it's very difficult. But if the travel is beyond May, we will get you the fast track appointments if needed. Also, one clarification here, the appointment challenge is only for fresh B1, B2 visas. If it's a renewal visa, we do not need to worry. Those appointments are freely available. So on our platform also, when you come, we have two types of visas. One is just the pure visa application, the B1, B2 visa. And then we have another section only for fast track appointment. So if you have a renewal case, just apply in the normal B1, B2 category. We will get you an appointment in the next 2-3 months. But if you have a customer traveling soon for a fresh visa case, you can apply that on the platform and we'll try and get you a fast track appointment for that particular customer.
All right. So there's a question around whether we are a B2C or a B2B company. And there's also a concern someone has raised about the safety of client data. Since we also offer B2C, how do they feel safe about us not contacting the clients directly?
Got it. No, again, a very good question. I'll be very honest. Like I was saying at the start of this presentation also, 85 to 90% of our business is B2B. The only B2C customers we have are customers who land on our platform on their own and they end up doing visas for us. Having said that, I understand the concern here. One is, we do not ask for any customer phone numbers or customer email IDs on our platform. So you be rest assured, unless there is a country where it is absolutely needed, right? Where the embassy has said it has to be the customer phone number. But if you're applying, let's say, a UAE visa, Vietnam visa, any of the other Southeast Asia countries, we don't ask for any customer information apart from the documents that are needed. So we will, and even if you do share, we do not reach out to any of these customers ever directly. All the notifications that go around the visa will go only to you and not to the customer, so that you have full control over all the visas that you're doing. Also, in terms of data safety, we have the best-in-class tech team at our Bangalore office, which is why we are also headquartered in Bangalore, which is where a lot of tech companies, a lot of tech talent also is at. We have a 2-factor authentication on the platform. Unless you have a password, unless you have a OTP, you cannot log into the platform as well. So we ensure that whatever information is being uploaded on the platform has the highest level of security built in. And it does not get shared to anybody except for the person who is processing your visas at the back end.
On the screen, you can see some numbers. So this is our sales team. Feel free to connect with us if you have any specific questions. I know there are some very specific questions around, process for a specific country or, around documentation. So a lot of it is already available on our platform, but please feel free to contact us on these numbers in case you need any further help on those. Next one, Nikita, is around white labels. So whether we provide white label services and how can one?
Yes, we can actually. So if you have a large, so we usually build white labels for any customer who has more than 50 visas a month. So let's say if you have your own website and you're doing 50 plus visas on your platform, we can create a complete white label for you on the on your platform, where your customer can come in and apply for these visas. You can actually get in touch with Rishi or the sales team number, which is here. They can give you a demo of how the white label works. We have two options there where you can process some of these visas yourself, or if you want both the tech and the operations via team, we can do both at our end as well. So you can reach out to our sales team. Again, they can show you a demo of how the white label works. And we can also launch a white label, and on the white label you will have a lot more customization. Also, you can change the price, you can change the document checklist, you can change the visit details that you want to ask to a customer. So it's an entirely very flexible to use white label also, in case you'd like to launch it on your platform.
So we have a question around validity of coupon, so I'll address that. So the coupon is the coupon code. So just to clarify, when you register on our portal through the link that we have provided, you will automatically get the coupon code. But in case you don't get it, don't worry. You just contact our team and we'll share the coupon code with you. In terms of validity, it is valid until you do your first transaction with us. So again, there is no specific time period. Of course, like if you contact us after 3 months, probably it won't be valid. But in the near future, we'll keep it valid. And just feel free to contact us, and our team will help you with the coupon code or even for registration. Yeah, there's another question around payment options. So on our portal, you have a normal payment gateway where you can pay via net banking, credit card, UPI. So pretty much all options are available. So I think these are the main questions we had. So Nikita, over to you.
Awesome. Any other questions? No, right? I think we can also answer some of these questions. If you reach out to our teams, I was also looking at the Q&A in the meanwhile, and there are very, very specific questions around Greece, around courier, around express appointments. You can actually reach out to our team. Our sales team can figure out the answers to this question and share it with you. But again, I just wanted to thank everybody who is come on this call and joined us for this hour-long session. Hopefully, you took away something new from this session. And if you have any feedback on how we can make this presentation also better, please share it with Devika and her team, and we'll try and add more things on the future webinars that we do as well.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Nikita. Thanks, Rishi. Friends, I know a lot of you have asked about the recording of the webinar. A recording of this webinar will be shared with you in the next 24 hours. So in 24 hours, you'll receive an email from us with a complete recording of the webinar. You also have phone numbers on your screen. Please take a screenshot of this. Save these phone numbers. You can reach out to the team at Teleport anytime on these numbers, and they can help address any of your queries. I will request Nikita and Rishi and their team to respond to all your questions. I know there are constantly lots of still questions coming in, but we will ask them to respond in due course to all your questions as well. With this, as we draw to an end of the webinar, I would like to first thank our lovely audience. Thank you so much for taking the time out and being here with us, for taking out time on your busy Tuesday. I know that Rishi multiple times has put the link of the coupon and has put his contact information also in the chat. We've shared that again as well. Again, I think Rishi has put his mobile number, so in case you have more questions regarding that. But thank you so much for being a lovely audience. Thank you for asking so many questions, and thank you for taking part in the poll as well. Nikita, thank you so much. I think you made a lovely presentation. There was so much about mistakes that we make, and there was just so much takeaway from that presentation. So thank you so much for taking the time out and making this lovely presentation to all of us and to our audience. Any closing remarks from either of you?
No, we're good. Thank you so much for having us, Devika. I think it's wonderful. It's always wonderful to work with the Chow Talk team as well.
Thank you. But friends, again, thank you so much. And we will, and the team from Teleport will be in touch with you. Thank you. Bye-bye.